What is your American dream?
My American dream is one day opening my Fifth Avenue craft couture shop, classy men and women's stuff. The first African-inspired clothes and accessories on Fifth Avenue. Right in front of Trump Tower.
Successful and free, you know? Yeah, it's all about being successful.
My American dream is to be one of the best known chef there is. Yeah, that's where I want to be now. I want to be known.
And to be the best I can be.
My dream is to be with my family and be able to take care of my family the best way I possibly can. I've had 2 more children since I've come here, and being in the United States has its benefits for my children.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. It's Hump Day, Wednesday, November 20th. Kind of feels like November 21st. We were waiting so long to start our show.
Did you guys think we were kind of, come on?
I said to Yonathan, I said, do you think it'll be November 21st by the time we start our show today?
Definitely thought I was about to sleep over.
Yes. Yonathan was doing some major research on Google, right? Mm-hmm. He was some Googling. Some places to go out tonight.
Yeah, tomorrow
in New York.
night.
Oh, tomorrow night. I thought it was tonight.
Yeah, tomorrow night.
Yeah, Yonathan was asking me. He said, "Uncle Brad, where would you go out in
and
New York?"
He's the wrong person to ask.
The wrong person
because he's
everything
loaded, and I'm not.
Everything I said, Yonathan's like, wait a second, that ticket's $149.
Like, what?
He's like, Yo goes, baby boy don't pay no $149 ticket,
sure
right?
Don't.
Well, I didn't know how much it was going to be. I just said I heard it was a fun night to go to this place.
Unless Uncle Brad wants to sponsor the kids.
Yo goes, $149 a ticket. Baby boy don't play that.
Nah, we don't even have to go out now.
All right, let's say hello to Marjorie Thompson, Dionne Watson, Squad Up, Fearless Michelle, how are you? Naveen White Rodriguez saying, Squad Up, I missed a few days, what's going on? Yo, what's going on? Can you give like a quick rundown of everything that she has missed?
In the last few days?
Well, yesterday we had Vanessa Contreras on.
We did,
right?
Yes.
And it was her second show.
Mm-hmm.
And
she did great.
Right. We had one caller that I said to withdraw his case 75 times before he understood it.
Yes.
Right?
We had a couple callers that complimented the hell out of you.
That is right.
Yeah.
What you also missed was a lot of Brad compliments, and then Brad giving those callers even more and more time on our show.
Yeah, we now call it buttering up the Brad.
Buttering up the Brad. Yeah. Everything else you'll just have to rewind and see. Anna K. Moxham, how are you? Dionne Watson. Lisa Bramell saying hi, Squad. Jessa Kalimi saying Squad Up, Attica. And by the way, if you did miss yesterday, Jessa Kalimi, I loved her line. What is this, Friday the 13th? It was right? Marjorie Thompson saying hello. K Stages Fawn. I don't know if we've seen K Stages Fawn before, or perhaps we do, and this person just changed their name. Dawn Harriet, how are you? Ninny, God Pickney, Squad Up, and Demba Sow.
Hey.
Where's Demba been?
Demba Sow.
I have not seen Demba in a little bit. Marge Higgs, how are you? Stacey Ann Daniels, Fearless Michelle, Tamika. Is Tamika Nelson, or that's a new person?
Let's
Tamika.
Tamika.
Sabe Nicole and Asset Lindo, how are you? On YouTube, Bax Young, back it up, Ricky, saying good evening, everybody. Funny Kid Video, hello. Jessa Kalimi, double fisting today.
As usual.
Does she double fist a lot?
She does.
I did not
Jessa
know that.
Kalimi, yeah.
Overcoming, how are you? DJ says, up Brad Squad.
Hey.
Ira Lama. One of my favorite names, Ira Llama.
Your favorite llama.
My favorite llama. I know lots of llamas, but I only have one favorite.
Yes.
And that is Ira.
Annie,
how are you? It's Ballyabe. Ballyabe has a question. Ballyabe has a question. We'll get to you. Pandra Landell says, hello, Brad crew. Am looking in from Jamaica. How are you, Jamaica? Mr. A. Shaker says, fix your line, guys. I'm having a hard time calling.
Maybe because it's
Fix your lines.
Is it full?
This is the problem.
What is it?
We have 28 lines, and Mr. A. Shaker, all 28 people are on hold.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Sheesh.
So it's not fix your lines, it's get some more goddamn lines, right?
Right, basically.
All right, Yonathan, Yo-Yo, Elias, while I get ready for some impeachment news and Hump Day news, why don't you tell everybody what they need to do?
Absolutely. All right. Oh.
No,
you done
get those camels back in.
You done let the camels out already?
There's no Hump Day yet. Get those camels back.
Get
out of here, you camel.
Golly, you can never keep them in their
Maestro, some music, please. Maestro, some music, please.
Waiting for my music, guys.
No music?
There we go. All right, everybody. First thing we're going to do on Facebook and YouTube is we are going to join the Facebook fan page. With that, you will get the first 5 questions answered for free. You guys get the first 5 questions. You can log on in the morning and literally put your questions in the comment section, and we will actually answer them first 5 before anybody else during social media check-in. So everybody, join it. All you got to do is click the link that we're going to put in the comment section right now and click join, and we will accept it. All right, now for Facebook, we need you guys to share. All right, we haven't been sharing as much as we used to. Okay, so I really need you guys to literally just click that little arrow that says share and share it to anybody's page, share it to groups, share it in an inbox. You guys have to do this, all right? Like this is all on you. All right, if we don't have a lot of viewers, it literally is because it's all in your hands. We can share as many times as we want, or we can, and it won't be as big of a difference as, like if you guys share, all right? So please share. And of course, we definitely want you guys to like, love, smiley face, sad face, wow face, mad face, whatever you're feeling, any emotion that you guys are feeling, we want you guys to show it, because that shows us how you feel about different stories. Of course, you already know it's Hump Day, so I'm sure it's going to be a lot of wow faces, a lot of laughing faces. There's 2 guys here that are going to be doing a Hump Day news, so it's going to be very interesting.
And we don't know what this Hump Day news is.
I have no idea what the Hump Day news is. So make sure you guys show some love with those emojis. And of course, we definitely want you guys to put all of your comments and your questions in the comment section right now. We love when you guys interact with each other. We love when you interact with us. We're going to be talking about different stuff that's happening around the world, and also we're going to be talking about some Hump Day news. So we want to hear all you have to say about the Hump Day news and the things that we're talking about during schmoozing. What's up?
So ready to schmooze?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were looking up, you know.
No, I was just looking at you for the cue to start schmoozing.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
Well, we're not done yet because YouTube, we need you guys to subscribe. Everybody on YouTube right now, make sure you guys subscribe. Get your friends, get your family. If you literally see them on their phone, be like, hey, can I see your phone real quick? Go into the search, say Brad Show Live, and subscribe, all right?
That's right.
That's a good way to do it, right?
And if you don't know their passcode, just stick the phone to their face.
Yes.
That seems to work.
Yes. And if they're asleep and it's an iPhone, where you can put their thumbprint, just put their thumbprint and open up their phone and go into YouTube, and make sure you subscribe from their account, okay? So make sure, seriously, we definitely need everybody to subscribe. And also put all your comments in the comment section, put all your questions in there now. This is the best time to do it. It's the beginning of the show. We have a very high volume show. You saw already, all the lines are full, so we're getting a lot of questions. Make sure you put them in right now. We definitely want you guys to copy the link, send it in a text message blast. You could also send it straight to any of your social media platforms. And also, we want you to create a post. The way to create a post, it's almost like Facebook when you post a picture or post a story on your timeline. YouTube is the same way. So you press share and it says create a post. You put down a description. I want you guys to make the description of it, okay? We're not gonna give you a description because you already know exactly what the show is about. I want you to do it in your words, post it on your YouTube, and last but not least, you already know, what do you know last but not least? On YouTube?
On YouTube, put it into your community, right?
We already said that.
Take the great thumbs up and
there
make
you
it,
go.
and make it a blue thumb.
That's the last but not least. We need you guys to do that right now. So right now we have 34
Maestro's
thumbs up.
giving you a hint.
He's giving. This is like the award show, right?
Yeah, he's
Don't
like,
give me an award.
Yeah, no,
I'll never get off the stage.
You gotta keep the music going.
All right, guys. Thumbs up. Make sure you put a thumbs up right now. And this is what you guys have been waiting for because the music is off. This is where we schmooze with Brad.
Here we go. All right, so oh, that was a quick one.
Right.
Boy, he's testy, Maestro.
Listen,
today.
we're late. We're late in the show.
He's very testy today.
So we're getting it out.
Yeah. So apparently, Yonathan, I don't know if you saw the bombshell going on in Washington, D.C., but the Sondland, who was the ambassador to the United Nations, who was one of the 3 or 4 key people who were organizing the quid pro quo between the United States, Donald Trump, the president, and Viktor Zelensky, who is the president of Ukraine, that Zelensky should start an investigation into Burisma, which is a company that Biden's son was on the board of directors, because they believe that if there was an investigation that would at least even be announced, the conservative media can take off with all sorts of conspiracy theories that the Bidens are crooked and they should be all locked up, and that's why you should vote for Donald Trump in the election for 2020, similar to what he did with Hillary Clinton and the email server that made her very, very crooked. Now, as I've said many, many times, maybe Biden's son should not have been on this board. He probably doesn't qualify to be on this board. Perhaps if he was not the son of the vice president, he would not have been on this board. I don't think Burisma would be calling Brad Bernstein's son to be on the board of directors, but Brad Bernstein's not the vice president. Despite all of that, there is nothing actually illegal about it. And it's already been debunked by the CIA, the National Security Council, the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, the State Department, and every other law enforcement agency in the United States, that the Bidens did absolutely nothing wrong or illegal. Despite that fact, Donald Trump has been saying they have and insisting they have. And Gordon Sondland, who's the ambassador to the United Nations, he was trying to get aid to the Ukrainians, military aid that has already been authorized by Congress by an act of law. The president just has to hand it over as the president of the United States. Congress already enacted it as law because the Russians already took over Crimea, and they are the front line in the fight against Russia, that if Ukraine were to fall, Russia would be on the border of Europe. And the Europeans and the Ukrainians, they are the people that contain Russia from taking over much of Eastern Europe. With that being said, Viktor Sondland, who is the ambassador to the United Nations, says that there was 2 different types of foreign policy going on. There was a regular foreign policy channel, and then there was an irregular foreign policy channel run by Rudolph Giuliani. And Donald Trump, according to the testimony of Sondland today, didn't care about the regular channels. He really didn't care about Ukraine. He didn't care if Russia took over Ukraine. He didn't care if Ukraine got money to defend themselves from Russia. He really didn't care much about Russia, about Ukraine at all, other than fighting corruption, which is a big thing in Ukraine, because if the Ukrainians can fight corruption, then they can become part of the European and westernized countries, and we can build up our shared values. With that being said, he was not really concerned, according to Viktor Sondland, about general corruption in Ukraine. Gordon, I keep calling him Victor. Sorry, Gordon Sondland. He was concerned about one particular corrupt act that has been debunked, which is that the Bidens were making billions off of something involving Burisma and an oil company in which the son was a board member, and somehow that involved also the theft of emails from the Democratic National Committee, and it was the Ukrainians, not the Russians, who sabotaged the U.S. election. None of that is true. Nobody believes it is true other than two people in the entire world. And the two people in the entire world who believe it's true is Rudy Giuliani and Donald Trump. As a matter of fact, all the people who are in power right now in the Ukraine were not in power in 2016. Do you know what they were doing in 2016? They were making television shows. Because the president of Ukraine is a comedian. And
really?
And everybody who is in the Ukrainian government is former television star.
What?
Yes. So they weren't even part of this. Oh. But Donald Trump had Rudy Giuliani go to the Ukraine and had Gordon Sondland and Rick Perry, the Department of Energy Secretary, and who was the other guy? Jill, I went blank on his name. The other guy who testified yesterday. They were Volker. They were supposed to get, their job was to get the president of Ukraine to say he will open up an investigation into Burisma. He will open up an investigation into the Bidens of revolving corruption and specifically the Bidens lining their pockets illegally with money from Burisma, and also as part of the election interference that the Burisma and the Ukrainians all took part in on behalf of the Democrats.
Right.
None of it is true.
Right.
And he said, only if you say this will I give you the military aid that has already been promised, and only if you say this will you get to meet me in the White House. Otherwise, you get nothing. And Russia can overrun your country. And Russia can overrun your country.
Right.
Now, in Latin times, they call this quid pro quo.
Quid pro quo.
Okay, something for something.
Yes.
In present day time, they call this bribery.
Yes.
Because it was not furthering any U.S. government interest. It was actually not furthering the U.S. government interest. It was not furthering the U.S. Taxpayer or the United States citizen, or our interest as United States citizens. It was only furthering the interest of Donald Trump to try to get reelected again by having a foreign power come out and say that the Bidens were crooked. They're going to start an investigation. And Trump knew that after they made this announcement, there would be no investigation.
Right.
That the Bidens did nothing wrong. They just wanted this announcement out in the world.
Right.
And then they could just carry it on from there with thousands of conspiracy theories. So now, up to this point, all the Republicans were saying, well, we haven't heard anybody who said that Trump said to do this.
Right.
We haven't heard any of this. Well, we heard it today.
Uh-oh.
Yes, Sondland testified there was a quid pro quo as it relates to the requested White House call and the White House meeting. Ooh. He also testified he worked with Rudy Giuliani to pressure Ukraine at the express direction of the President of the United States.
Wow.
Sondland explicitly tied Trump, Vice President Mike Pence, and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to the campaign to put pressure on the Ukraine to investigate the Bidens in return for military aid that has already been authorized by Congress and a visit to the White House. We have a video.
Was there a quid pro quo? As I testified previously, with regard to the requested White House call and the White House meeting, the answer is yes.
He said everybody was in the loop. I'm quoting him. It was no secret. Sondland told lawmakers that he had discussed the investigation in a July 19th email sent to several top U.S. officials. This came days before Trump's July 25th call with the Ukrainian leader, in which the whistleblower blew the lid off this entire, basically, criminal enterprise. Now, Sondland said he told Pence in early September that he was concerned the United States aid to Ukraine was being tied to investigations into Trump's political rivals. Pence did not say anything in return. On working with Giuliani, Sondland said he worked with Giuliani, he worked with Rick Perry, and U.S. diplomat Kurt Volker. Nobody wanted to work with Giuliani on Ukraine because they knew Giuliani was a little crooked.
Right.
Okay. However, Sondland at least says, I was going along with it because my most important mission was to get the aid to the Ukrainian military to fight the Russians. I didn't care how we did it. If it had to do with an open investigation to Biden's, to me it was more important to get the aid.
Right.
We have a couple more videos.
Secretary Perry, Ambassador Volker, and I worked with Mr. Rudy Giuliani on Ukraine matters at the express direction of the President of the United States.
Now, he said he was testifying, unlike Bolton, who has been, unlike Rick Perry, unlike Pompeo, unlike others who refuse to come testify, because he respects the gravity of the moment. Now, we're going to have testimony tomorrow from Tim Holmes.
Okay.
And Sondland has agreed with Holmes that there was a telephone call from a restaurant in Kyiv.
In Kyiv.
In Kyiv.
Not Kiev.
Not Kiev, in Kyiv. And by the way, they're spelling Kyiv now K-Y-I-V. I don't know why. It used to be K-I-E-V.
Yeah.
I remember Chicken Kiev, right?
Yeah.
But now it's Kyiv. That he was in a restaurant in Kyiv with this emissary from the U.S. Embassy, and he said to Trump, "Yes, the Ukrainian president loves your ass," and he said because that's the way that he and Trump talk to each other. They like to curse.
Right.
Sondland said, "That sounds like something I would say. That's how President Trump and I communicate. A lot of four-letter words in this case." Now, meanwhile, at the White House, Donald Trump, who claims he doesn't watch TV, but we know that's all he does all day. He reacted. He says, @RealDonaldTrump on Twitter, because that's how he talks to the world. He says, "Impeachment witch hunt is now over. Ambassador Sondland asked U.S. President, what do you want from Ukraine?" And I keep hearing all these different ideas and theories. What do you want? It was a very abrupt conversation. He was not in a good mood. He just said, "I want nothing, I want nothing, I want no quid pro quo. Tell President Zelensky to do the right thing." Now, what Sondland was saying was that after it was determined that Trump was not meeting with Zelensky until he gave this public announcement of an investigation into Biden, into Burisma, he is not going to give aid until this public announcement. And the Ukrainians were saying, we need the money. We need to fight the Russians. The Russians invaded half our country. When is this aid coming? Sondland called up Trump on the phone, and he said, what do you want me to tell them to do? Now, just because somebody robs a bank,
right?
Okay, and after they rob the bank, say, hey, did you rob the bank? Oh, we're on a telephone? No, I did not rob a bank,
Right.
Just because he says that doesn't mean he's clear.
Right.
Because all of the evidence, everything suggests, everybody's saying the same thing, by the way. It's not like people are saying different things and people are contradicting each other.
Right.
Everybody's saying the same exact thing. Trump was not meeting with Victor Zelensky. It's very simple.
Right.
Until he made a public announcement about Joe Biden, his political rival, and he was not giving aid, the money that was already authorized, until that public announcement was made. So he can go on Fox, and he can go to his, political rallies, and he can go to the Republican National Convention and have everybody yell, lock Biden up, he's a thief.
Right.
Just from this one announcement.
Right.
Not that there would ever be any investigation into Biden after that. Now, what happened is that Trump realized that people are starting to question why he's doing this, which is why he covered himself up.
Right.
And he said, just tell him to do the right thing. Okay? Somebody knows when the jig is up.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, with that being said, the Republicans say, well, Trump gave the aid eventually. It was released on September 12th or September 11th, sometime in early September.
Right.
He gave the aid, so there's no crime. Trump gave the aid 3 days after Congress started investigating all of this.
Nah.
Come on.
Nah.
Come on, right?
He knew they was onto him.
Come on. You know what it's like, Yonathan? It's like, I went into your bedroom, and I see your beautiful gold watch, okay? I say, oh, just look at this beautiful gold watch.
No wonder.
Okay, and I stick it in my pocket. And then I walk it around with that gold watch for weeks.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the police come knock on my door. Uncle Brad, you know anything about Yonathan's missing gold watch? We understand you have a key to apartment 9J. And I said, I don't know anything
no idea
about any gold watch. And then Yonathan goes to work, and I say, uh-oh. I better go back and put that watch away.
That's still a crime, guys.
And I go and I put the watch back. I still stole it. Still a crime.
Still getting that butt whooped.
Still a crime. Meanwhile, the Republicans have nothing to say about all of this. Devin Nunes, who was the top Republican leading the the cross-examination of these witnesses, he's just making all sorts of controversial statements to kind of muddy the waters. Nobody really can defend Trump on any of this. Okay? First, it was a perfect call. Okay? The call was perfect. Okay? Then there was no quid pro quo. Then there was no bribery. Then, okay, he was just conducting foreign policy. Okay, it wasn't a perfect call. It's not something I would probably do myself. This is basically what the Republicans say, but it's not impeachable.
Right.
But you want to know what? The word bribery is part of the Constitution as an impeachable offense. If this is bribery, if this is a bribe, you don't do this, I won't meet you.
Right.
And the bribe is to help me become president again for 4 more years.
Yeah.
It is in the Constitution. You get impeached for bribery.
There you go.
So to say it's not impeachable.
It definitely is.
It definitely is. The word bribery is in the Constitution. So Devin Nunes, he's just making all sorts of stuff up to kind of like muddy the waters. He claims testimony from multiple U.S. national security officials who recently told lawmakers in public hearings and private depositions that the Ukrainian government did not interfere in the 2016 election. And why is Nunes doing this? Because he cares about one person, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Okay? Donald Trump says that Ukrainians interfered, and it's Burisma, and it's Biden, and they're corrupt, but he doesn't really make much sense. So that's what's going on. That is what's going on. We started a little late, so I can't really get into much more, because what's most important, those camels are like all over the place. All right? We got to get into something we like to call Hump Day news, right? We have camels now, Maestro.
Let them out.
Let those camels out. And then we got to get into our immigration questions. Here's the camels.
Yeah.
Here are the camels. Now, for those of you who've never watched before, on Wednesdays, we do Hump Day, where it gets a little randy. Our news gets a little randy. All right, so we're going to go through our Hump Day news very quickly. And then we're going to get into our immigration questions.
Yeah, so everybody stay on.
All right, so this is kind of gross, and I'm sorry we don't have Vanessa here today.
Oh, God.
Just do it, Jill is saying. Just do it. So for those concerned, and this is for the Brad Squad, and tell me if you would ever agree to any of this, Yonathan.
Okay.
For those concerned that their man may cheat on them, and say that they will leave him if he cheats, and that's just not enough. We still don't trust that dirty, cheated man. That low-down, dirty dog. Right? Then a woman now has more drastic measures that she can go to.
Okay.
All right? It's called a chastity cage. Unlike a chastity belt, have you heard of the chastity cage?
Absolutely not.
Besides making sure your man doesn't stray, these cages are designed for a little kickier purpose. So apparently what you do is you strap it in, and she locks it up, and the only thing you can do is urinate through it. Right? Now, some men say that, in this situation, a partner of the man...
Oh, look at the small one.
The small one. The small one, the small one's called the pumpkin for Donald Trump. That was the pumpkin one.
Stormy must have
Stormy must
helped out with that.
Now, this chastity cage just came on the market. What do you think, Yonathan? Would you ever?
Absolutely not.
And they have one. And they have also one. If you don't want to wear the metal, you can wear the plastic one. Now, or silicone. Now, my question is this: What if you get excited while you're wearing that? Wouldn't that hurt?
Well, it looked like the
Wouldn't that
at least
hurt?
the metal one. It looked like it was a spring, so like it'll.
I think
extend.
by the way, I think that's gonna like cut you. It would be bleeding from that thing, right?
That doesn't look too.
That doesn't look
kosher.
very. Okay, although if you walked in the subway, people would be like, "Wow, you're a very well endowed man," right?
You know,
right?
Yeah.
And you know, some people like to say, you know, Uncle Brad, you got balls of steel. Well, if I'm wearing those, Yonathan, I think they'd be right.
My God.
What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I feel like there's a lot of crazy baby mothers out there in the world that would love this. So.
All right. So now it's more than that. Jill is saying. Okay. Besides making sure your man doesn't stray, these cages are also designed for the kinkier purpose. Once the man is locked up in these cages, Yonathan, it will prevent him from getting. Oh, it prevents him from getting aroused.
That's not true.
I don't know how that is.
That's
and he cannot use his penis for intercourse or masturbation, nothing. He can't touch it. So he's never going to be able to pleasure himself until a woman says you can do it.
Oh.
And the woman has the key.
Oh yeah.
Your partner has the key.
You can't do nothing to it.
You can't get it off.
That, yeah.
You can't get it off unless you're going to go to your local auto body repairman and ask him to weld it off.
Or if you go to like a locksmith that has to cut.
Can you imagine? Like, my baby's so mad at me, she has to give me the key in a month.
Oh.
And you'd have to go to the locksmith, or you'd have to go to the auto body repairman.
Yeah, no. Leave the crazy girls alone, y'all.
All right. Meanwhile, New York City is saying goodbye to the Playboy Club in New York. Just opened, and now it's closing. The New York Post reported that after just 1 year in business, the owners of the new Playboy Club at the Cache Hotel in Manhattan are packing it up. Hugh Hefner's son Cooper was trying to rebrand Playboy as a millennial luxury. There were 4 tiers of membership. So you had to pay between $5,000 to $100,000
wow.
to be part of this Playboy Club. Now, the new Playboy Club was complete with bunny cocktail waitresses, et cetera, just like the old one.
Right.
Now the first Playboy Club opened back in 1960. The clubs were a big tease with bunnies busting out of their skimpy stuff. But you want to know what? I think Playboy's a little passé now.
Is very.
Yeah, nobody's interested in, because back in the day, in 1960, in the 1960s, it was, just to see somebody topless or naked.
Leave alone topless.
Okay,
remember,
naked. Now, come on, you.
Remember, I Love Lucy. They were a married couple and couldn't even sleep in the same bed. So
correct.
That at that time it made sense.
Yeah. I think Playboy has seen its day.
Absolutely.
Right, and nobody gets interested in
nothing
Playboy.
But a costume.
Yeah,
now,
nobody gets interested in Playboy bunnies anymore.
Nah,
right?
Nah, we done seen it all.
Yeah. Now this is weird. It's been reported that a woman, where is this woman? You think allergies in Maryland. A woman claims that sex almost killed her because sex leads her to have an allergic reaction.
Oh no, that would be.
Now, when you think of allergies, you think of pollen, peanut, shellfish. Can you imagine having an allergic reaction to sex?
My God,
well, it's possible, according to the American Journal of Medicine. A 46-year-old woman in Maryland had sex with her husband, and 1 to 2 hours later, she started feeling dizzy, sweating, had itchy hands and feet, and she had diarrhea. I think that's called gonorrhea. Isn't that like you get, that's called like getting a virus or something, right? They finally went to the hospital where low blood pressure led doctors. You don't get dizzy from gonorrhea, but maybe you do. I don't know. Where her low blood pressure led doctors to believe she was in septic shock. But after other tests all came back negative and her symptoms abated, doctors had to piece together what happened. Her husband was taken around to penicillin bait. Aha! Now I understand. The husband was on penicillin.
Oh, and she's allergic.
And she's allergic to penicillin. And when the semen had penicillin in the semen, and that's what got her sick.
So she's not allergic to sex.
No, you're not allergic to sex. You're allergic to antibiotics and penicillin. So you got to be very careful if you have that allergy.
Yeah.
Who you're having sex with. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Finally, Yonathan, Gwyneth Paltrow's holiday gift guide includes a BDSM kit.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, she it's time to start the holiday shopping list, and if you're looking for a unique gift, Gwyneth Paltrow has it for you. Paltrow's health and lifestyle brand Goop released a line of gifts she dubbed the Ridiculous But Awesome Gift Guide. I'm not a big Gwyneth Paltrow fan.
Isn't that like Beyonce's like best friend?
I don't know who her best friend is. It features a gift you may not want to open around your parents, though.
The hell no.
Okay, it has wrist cuffs, ankle cuffs, leather-bound paddle. Think of the kit as a beginner guide to BDSM. What BDSM stands for? I don't even know what. I know what it is, but what does it stand for? I know bondage, dungeon, sadomasochism.
It is bondage, discipline.
Oh, discipline. I thought it was dungeon
and submission.
Okay. So I got it totally wrong. It's even equipped with a do-it-yourself. I know what DIY means. Restraining straps. It does not have the penis cuffs that we talked about earlier.
Good.
It's $130. I'm sorry, the kit is $1,350. You can keep it, Gwyneth.
You can
Baby
keep
boy's
that.
not even paid $149 for a ticket tomorrow.
Listen.
Right? Baby boy ain't paid $13.50 for Gwyneth Paltrow's BDSM kit, right? Now, among the other ridiculous but awesome gifts, Paltrow includes a $250 fire extinguisher and a $130 automatic joint roller.
What?
Yeah.
What? Okay.
That's ridiculous. All ridiculous. All right, Yonathan, Yo-Yo, Elias, we got to answer immigration questions. That's our hump day. That's our schmooze. Go tell everybody what they need to do while I stretch and get ready for some immigration.
Absolutely. All right, guys.
You go
right
there.
Here.
Maestro, mute.
Right here.
Maestro, please. Oh, Maestro. Now you go over there, Maestro. Maestro.
All right, so I'm gonna do this real fast. We got 1,100 people watching on Facebook right now. I need every single one of you guys to start a watch party. All you have to do is press share. Right under it, it says host a watch party. What that does is it takes our show and puts it on your timeline and on your profile, and you get to talk to all your friends. You're the actual host. Be the hostess with the mostest. Talk to your friends. Let them know about the show. And right now, this is what you guys have been waiting for. This is where you call in and you get your immigration questions with getting answers to your immigration questions.
But I want you, before we get answers to your immigration questions, we want everyone to start their watch party right now, Yonathan,
Right now.
Yo-Yo, Elias. And you start your watch party right there. There's Jilly's finger. That's how you do it. And you want to share this with your friends. Why? Because everybody needs immigration help,
Absolutely.
Yonathan.
Everybody does.
They all need immigration
Yeah.
help. And if you're on YouTube, you can get into the watch party feel too. You can just go and share this to your friends and family. You can give us a thumbs up
There
on
you go.
YouTube as well and tell the entire world that we're a pretty good show, right?
We are.
And now I'm going to do something that I like to call, you got a question, I've got your answer. If you call us early enough on our show, because if you call us too late, our 28 lines would be covered. It's something we like to call Maestro, please. There we got it. I got answers to your immigration questions. All right, we're getting the hang of this.
We are. It's
Yonathan.
getting good.
We're getting the hang of this. Wow, that was a little
That
loud
was
there.
loud.
All right, let's go to Simone in Brooklyn. Simone, how are you?
Hi, Brad. How
you
are
doing?
you? I'm good, and you?
Good. What's going on?
I just had two quick questions to ask. Okay, the first question is, how long does it take to get an interview date back?
An interview for what, when, and how, and where?
An interview date for immigration.
What kind of interview are you getting? Is this for a green card? Is this for your citizenship? Who filed for you?
Green card.
Okay, who sponsored you? Your husband?
No, it's not for me.
Who sponsored whoever we're talking about? You're giving me a very vague question. So when you get a vague question, I can't answer it. Interview for what? Who is the sponsor? Where did you file? What forms? What are we talking about?
Okay, just skip that question real quick. We'll go to the next one.
Well, skip
Is it safe to travel on your work permit?
Is it safe to travel on your work permit? Yes. Inside the United States, yes. Inside the United States, yes.
So could you go to Jamaica?
Not on a work permit. You can go to Jamaica with an advance parole. Do you have an advance parole?
Okay. Yeah.
Simone, are we having a conversation here?
You're not hearing me?
I do, but you have advance parole, you can travel.
Yeah.
If it's you have an advance parole, the answer is you can travel. Okay, so
okay, without them giving me problems coming back.
They can always give you problems coming back. Okay, nobody can ever guarantee you come back. What I can guarantee you is this. I assume you have a pending adjustment of status application. You have a combo card, which is a work permit and advanced parole. If you have that advanced parole, you can leave the United States, go to your home country. If it's Jamaica, then you go to Jamaica, and you can stay for a few weeks, but not months and months and months. And if you take a short trip abroad and you come back, all else being equal, you can return. Now, if you have drugs in your suitcase, they're not going to let you back in. If you've committed fraud, they're not going to let you back in. You have a criminal record, they're not going to let you back in. There's lots of reasons why they won't let you back in. But if you're asking me, assuming you are in a bona fide marriage with your spouse, you have a valid advance parole document, and all else being equal, meaning that you have no other issue with immigration, fraud, crimes, or any other thing else, you can travel with an advance parole, go home, and come back within a week or two.
Within a week or two?
Yes. It's for short trips. Okay? Hold on one second. Hold on if you need more help. Let's go to Milan in Brooklyn. Milan. Hi,
Brad. Can you hear me?
I hear you. What's going on?
Hi, how are you? So what happened is I had a pending I-485, and I was in removal proceeding. I went to the court hearing in September, and the judge said he need the I-130 approval, and he gave us like 7 more months to get the I-130, and he gonna make the decision on I-485. So just yesterday I got the approval of I-130.
Great.
So my question is, do I have to wait till like 7 months, or can I terminate the removal proceeding?
You have to wait the 7 months. What you can do is make a motion to recalendar your master calendar earlier. And the judge has the right, if they want to recalendar it to an earlier date. You can show the judge the I-130, and then the judge will either do your adjustment or terminate it and allow you to do your adjustment with immigration.
And because we already did the interview for I-485, do judge gonna do another interview, or?
It's up to the judge.
Oh, okay.
All right?
You're
welcome.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's go to Marie in Naples. Marie. Let's go to Jackson, Houston, Texas.
Hello, Brad.
How are you?
I'm good. This question for my friend.
Yes.
He's a SIJS. He's a little baby. He's 18. He just turned 18 years old, and he got kicked out by petitioner. But he's been living with the petitioner for a long time.
He's 18-year-old baby? What?
Oh, he's not a baby. He's just he's a baby adult.
He's a baby adult. So we have a baby adult who got kicked out by who?
By his adopted parents.
His adopted parents threw him out of the house?
Huh?
I'm asking you. You have an 18-year-old kid, and the adopted parents threw him out. These people adopted him, and then threw him out of the house?
I know the 18-year-old, yes.
Okay. Now, does this 18-year-old have a green card? Did the adopted parents ever file for his green card?
He only has EAD.
How is he getting sponsored for his green card?
I think he got adopted.
He got adopted.
The SIJS.
No, he did a special juvenile immigrant, and then they became the legal guardian of this child. But if they threw him out of the house and he's now on his own, he may have.
He's not even on his own. He's sleeping in his car. So the school provided shelter for him.
All right, so then he needs to really have a consultation, because if he's sleeping on his own and they threw him out, then he needs a new guardian. Let a new guardian go to court and become a new guardian. Whoever threw him out is not a very good guardian. All right, so who are you to him?
Oh, I'm just his friend. He works while I work.
How old are you?
25.
Okay, so you could become his guardian if he's 18 and you're 25.
But this is already online. He's just waiting for an interview, and
but the problem is this: if he's out on his own, then they're going to say he's an adult. So that could ruin the special juvenile immigrant.
Wow.
Yeah. Let him have a consultation with us. Hold on one second. Let's go to Gene in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Gene.
Hello?
Hi, Gene.
Hi, how are you?
Good. What's going on?
Good. Well, my case is very complicated, but let me list it out to you. I think there's a memorandum that came out on July 31st where USCIS reinstated their position on whether somebody who is like a EWI came here without inspection, who is granted TPS can adjust status in the U.S. But if you go on that memorandum, I think go down to page 5, and you will see my name listed down. What happened is I came here. I was an EWI.
Wait. What, page 5? Your name is listed on what page 5? What are you talking about?
There is like a memorandum that came out, like USCIS put out on July 31st.
put out a memorandum and put your name on page 5 of it?
Yes.
Why? Why would they put out a memorandum and put you on your memorandum?
All right, because my case, it looks like in the state of Pennsylvania, it's the first this is the first person that the judge granted a green card without being inspected at that time.
Okay, so you
now
are,
it becomes a debate.
So you became the controlling case.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Now it became a debate in Philadelphia where I appealed the case. The board did not know what to do, and while I appealed my case, I traveled and I came back on an advance of parole. So now I submit the document to the board and ask the board to return the case to the judge, and so to see if I can get my status because I'm married with a U.S. citizen since 2008.
Because you did the advance parole, so you traveled out and came back. You made a legal entry now.
Yes.
Okay. So your question is what?
After that, yes, I've been married since 2008. So I went through the approval in 2009.
What is your question?
So because I was an EWI.
Tell me what the question is.
My question is, I have an I-487 that's been pending since
485.
then.
Uh-huh.
And I-485, I got the interview, I do everything, fingerprint, blood, whatever. So, and after the board make the decision, knowing that I become a parolee, USCIS never answer me any question. They never take a decision since, that was last year, May last year. They finally signed a case. I think it's an officer, adjuster on my case, but I never get any response from them, nothing at all. I called, they never talked to me, they never sent me nothing in the mail.
Okay, so it's been how long now?
It's been about the case was being granted since 2017.
All right, so then you need to file a mandamus or something to force them to make their decisions already. All right, because they're just sitting on your case. They're sitting on your rights.
Well, it's whatever. I even go to the congressman office in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
All right. So unless you go into federal court and get a federal judge to force them to make a decision on your case, and I wouldn't do that yet because I want to make sure what you're saying is absolutely accurate in terms of the facts of your case. But assuming you're eligible to adjust your status and they're holding on to your case for 2 years, you would want to file a mandamus. So hold on one second, all right? Let's go to Mary in Chicago. Mary.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Brad.
How you doing?
I'm good. I talked to you yesterday, Ashley.
Yes.
About my situation, getting married in Nigeria and still being married here.
Right.
Okay. So you had mentioned, I told you that I was working, but I was off work, and you mentioned that
you had disability.
Workman comp.
Okay, workman's comp is okay.
Right, but you had mentioned when I told you I had to rely on public assistance for a little while. You had mentioned a second support.
What I had mentioned is that now that if you're on public assistance, that is a negative factor. That is, if you were on any public assistance in the last 36 months, it is now a negative factor when it comes to determining at the U.S. Embassy if your husband or spouse is going to become a public charge. So the more you're on public assistance, the more of a negative factor it is.
Okay, but I told you, well, it hasn't been 30. It was only like 8 months, but I'm not on.
No, I said
I'm
at
off
any
that.
time in the last 36 months. When you're
Okay,
from the
I got
time
you.
from the time that your husband goes for an interview. Not so I said get off as quickly as possible. That's all I'm saying. And if you're off,
Right.
you're off. And the workers' comp has no
Okay.
effect on it.
Right, but then you said that you could do affidavits of second.
If you don't earn enough money or there's an issue with this negative factor, you could always do a second affidavit of support. You can show that your husband's going to be gainfully employed. There's lots of things you can do to overcome this and give positive factors that would outweigh the negative factor that you are on public assistance. It is a weighing. They put all the negative on one hand, all the positive on the other. This is the new rules. If the positive outweighs the negative, then you get the green card.
Okay, one more question. Now, is like low-income houses, that's considered the same
Yes,
thing,
it
correct?
is. Correct.
Okay, so I would have to get off that also?
Yes.
Really?
Trump's a mean man. Yes. He's a
So if
very,
that's-
very mean pumpkin man. I'm not even joking. I want him impeached. This was a very happy day for me when I saw the impeachment trial. He's a horrible, horrible human being. This is what they're doing. His immigration guru, it's come out, is a right-wing Nazi. And he's Jewish, which is a self-hating person.
Okay, but even if I have it, they still make me pay my full rent. It's just.
I know, but you're getting a reduced rent because of your low income level, and that is a negative factor.
No, I have it, but I pay full rent because I work.
Well, okay, so then you're not in public. You're not getting any government assistance there. I don't know. You're getting a local program from wherever you are, so we would have to look to see what that local program is.
Okay, it's low income housing, but they make you pay your rent if you're working. It's just good for you if you get fired or something. But it's still
okay. I would have to make that determination when we look into the exact program that you're in. I don't know that particular program in Chicago, Illinois. I can tell you that under the new rules, if you are getting any subsidy for housing because of your income, it is a negative factor, even from a local government.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right, Mary. Okay. All right. But he's a horrible man, Yonathan. He is. All right, let's go to Kier. Okay, goodbye, Kier. Let's go to Sunny. Sunny in Queens.
Hi, Mr. Bear. How
Hi,
you
Sunny.
doing?
How are you?
I'm good. Actually, I had my I-360 pending from 2014 in the SIG.
What happened in 2014 with the SIG?
Yeah, I applied for my I-360 and I-485.
Right.
So last month, I got a 10-2 deny from them.
For your SIG?
Yeah.
Why?
They said the insufficient court orders and inconsistencies with my DS-160.
Okay.
So now yesterday, I got the letter of I-360 approval.
Great.
So now they called me next month again for my other interview of I-485 with the I-693.
And your question is what?
So it could be a problem for getting green card. So I don't know why they called me for other interview because I already had one interview with them for my I-485.
I don't have the slightest idea. I don't know what's in your guardianship. I don't know what inconsistencies. When they say inconsistency, that's misrepresentation. Is in your visa application. I would need to review it all.
It was.
Okay.
Yeah, it
so,
was a
so obviously you have a
misrepresentation.
misrepresentation, and perhaps the guardianship wasn't done properly. Either one of those could cause a big problem. I would need to actually see the documents to tell you. I wouldn't be able to tell you, will you have a problem? Well, it doesn't sound like you're not going to have a problem. It sounds like you will have a problem. How big of a problem do you have? I don't know yet. Hold on. Hold on. Now, Yonathan, in today's Spar Bernstein Attorney Close-Up, by the way, we're going to get back to more immigration questions in a few minutes, in about 2 minutes. But in today's Spar Bernstein Attorney Close-Up, immigration attorney Alex Mercado gives helpful tips when filing for a green card. Let's watch.
The first thing that I always tell my clients is just be very honest and very open and candid with your attorney. We're here to help you. Anything that you don't disclose to us, most likely or not, will be found out by immigration officers. I've had many times the cases where clients have withheld information that comes up in their interview. I feel like that's really the biggest stumbling stone because, and I understand sometimes they're embarrassed to tell their full story. Sometimes you feel like if you say it, then it might target you in some sort of way. But as your attorneys, we're always here to help. Always also keep very neat records of your life here in the United States. In many applications, they request information from your past that sometimes we just discard. For example, if you come in with a visa back in the 90s and the early 2000s, that I-94 paper that comes with when you come into the country, it's very important when it comes to adjusting your status to a green card holder. So I would always say, like, be very forthcoming, be very honest to your attorneys. We're here to help you. And also keep your ducks in a row, like keep your documents always in order and keep it all together.
Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future.
All right, everybody. So now this is going to be the second part of where you guys call in and get your immigration questions. But before we do that, we need everybody to start their watch parties again. All right, now you already know how we're going to do the watch parties. I'm going to do it a cappella right now.
Yes.
So what you have to do, there you go. It started. All right, guys, so you saw how that graphic shows you how to start a watch party. And for anybody who doesn't know what a watch party is, before I tell you how to do it, a watch party is where you take our show, Brad Show Live. I'll say R is all of us. You take the show and you put it literally right on your timeline, and it sends a big notification to all of your friends and family that follow you on Facebook. So how you do that? You just have to press share, where it says, you know, there's a little arrow that's pointing to the right, depending on what device you're using. The share, and then right under it, it says host your watch party or start a watch party. And then it will go straight to your timeline. It's literally like sharing the video to your page, but now what you're doing is you're the actual host. You get to talk to everybody, you get to tell them what the show is about, and also make sure you bring them back into the main page as well. So tell them to join the Brad Squad and have all the Brad Squad members welcome them with, welcome them. I need all of you guys to do it. So exactly how you see it right now. Start your watch party, press share, hit start watch party, and then it's on your page. All right, and of course on YouTube, we definitely need you guys to put that thumbs up, all right? Show us some love. Let us know that you're liking what you're seeing.
And by the way, when you're starting a watch party, not only you're helping us get the word out, you're also helping the world, because there's so many people who need help. You are doing a good deed for the day.
Yeah,
you really are. You're not doing a watch party on some BS show. Yeah. We're giving some real good assistance and help here.
That costs a lot of money.
You are spreading good deeds. You're paying it forward.
Absolutely.
Right?
So every day you're doing a good deed.
Pay it forward. Pay it forward, Yonathan. All right, let's go to...
oh, look at that.
What happened? I didn't see. We had mini-me?
It was mini-me again.
All right, come back to me, Maestro, and we're going to go speak to Cindy in Sarasota, Florida. Cindy.
Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, I'm connected. Thank you so much, Brett, for taking my call.
My pleasure.
Yes, I have a question about my parents' green card.
Yes.
Their green card will be valid until 2023. Mm-hmm. However, after they lived here 3 and 5 months, they went back to China and they overstayed.
What do you mean they overstayed?
April.
They stayed in China for how long?
Oh, it's been almost 3 years now.
3 years.
In a few months, it will be 3 years. So my question is, how do I get them back? Should I try?
Are you a citizen?
A visa?
Are you a citizen?
I am a citizen. Yes, okay. I'm the petitioner.
All right. So step one would be that they would go to the U.S. Embassy and they would apply for an SB1 visa. That's what I would do first. An SB1 visa is a visa to come back to the United States to live as a permanent resident after you have been out of the country for 2 or 3 years. And what you need to be able to show is that you really are domiciled in America. And it was not your intent when you left to stay out for 2 to 3 years, but, you know, stuff happens. And this is what happened, and it was beyond my control, which is why I stayed out for 2 to 3 years. And guess what? I have a lot of ties. I have a lot of roots still in America. I have my children are there, my grandchildren perhaps. I left a home, my clothes, a car. My job is still being held open for me. Whatever it is that they can show that they still have roots in America and they apply to re-enter the United States with their green card. If they can show enough roots and a good reason why they've been out for 2 to 3 years and it wasn't really their intent to give up their green card, they will give them this special visa. It's called an SB1 visa to come back and live in the United States as a permanent resident. Or their other alternative would be, I'm going to give you 3 choices. That's option 1. Option 2 is go to the U.S. Embassy and say, you know what? I've been out of the country for 3 years. I had the opportunity to live in the United States. I don't really want to. I like China. I just want to be able to visit. Can you change my green card to a visitor's visa? And they'll change it to a visitor's visa. Because what do you need to prove to get a visitor's visa? All you need to prove to get a visitor's visa is, I don't want to live in America. I'm going back to China. And what better way to prove that you're going back to China is, I had an opportunity to live in America with a green card, and I chose not to. And then just get a visitor's visa and let them visit. Or, number 3, don't just refile for them. Take the position, they gave up their green cards, I'm a U.S. citizen, I'm going to refile for my parents again.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to weigh this. My questions for SB1 visa, I'm looking for the evidence other than they got sick. And they have ties. They say, I'm the only child here. They have 3 back China.
Right,
and
so
they do not have a driver license, no bank account. They live with me. I do have extra house for them.
You're the ties, and they got sick, and that's what you try to do. All right, and then if not, you'd file again for them if they get turned down.
Okay, so you should, because I tried to contact the consulate there.
You know
they never returned my inquiry.
Of course not. You try to contact the U.S. Embassy in China. It's easier. It is easier to get Victor Zelensky on the phone than the U.S. Embassy in China. Okay, it's easier to get Trump on the phone. All right, because Sondland was able to do it from a restaurant in Kiev. Okay, nobody answers the phone in China. Okay, nobody. It's a black hole. China's literally a black hole. That embassy. All right, but give us a call and we'll see what we can do to help. Okay, so hold on 1 second, or I'll stay on hold. Let's go to Amir in Charlotte, North Carolina. Amir.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. How are you,
Good.
Mr. Brad?
What's going on?
Yes, sir. My case is a little bit complicated, but I just came here as a K-1 visa fiance in October 2017. And after a while, I married with my wife.
Did you get married in that first 90 days that you came?
Yes.
Where you from? Where you from, Amir?
Iran.
Iran. Okay. And did your wife file for you?
My wife, she did. Actually, I went to the interview, but my wife, she refused coming with me to interview. And today I received the denial.
Why did she refuse to go?
Because she doesn't cooperate to hold the case, and she left the country living by herself in Mexico.
All right.
And I used to living with her for like 9 months, and I explained it to the interviewer.
Did you have a lawyer with you?
No,
Okay, that was your mistake. Had you gone with a lawyer, you would have got a green card. Because any lawyer would be able to go to an immigration officer, and you just needed to say 3 words to that immigration officer to get you a green card. But the immigration officer is not on your side, so they'll deny you unless you know there's 3 special words to say when you file an adjustment after you entered on a fiance visa and your spouse doesn't show up to the interview. Just 3 magic words.
Right.
Matter of cesse. Now, that sounds weird. Why would I say matter of cesse? How does that get me a green card? Well, there was a guy from Africa whose name was Sese, and he filed a fiancé visa. He came on a fiancé visa. He filed an adjustment application. The wife gave an affidavit of support, and just like you, Amir, the wife didn't show up to the interview. And what Sese said was, well, if you read the law very, very closely, it says I'm entitled to a green card if I came on a fiancé visa as long as my wife gave me an affidavit of support and we got married. I don't have to prove at the time of the interview that we're still together, unlike other marriages. So that's what you need to do. Now, they denied you. I would just refile again under matter of cesse, and I would do it with a good lawyer, and you'll get a green card. Why do I know? Because your wife filed the adjustment. They wouldn't have gotten an interview without the affidavit of support already filed. So you're in good shape.
Yes, but also they sent me as a 6th letter, which has a attachment like an applicable law and regulation, and it comes with the adjustment of a status of non-immigrant to that of person admitted for the permanent residence under the VAWA self-petitioner.
All right, so you're just reading some boilerplate BS decision from immigration. I am telling you, you're entitled to a green card under matter of cesse. If you did it right, or you do it right now, you'll get a green card. If you don't believe me, go to Google right now. Google's always truthful, I think. Google matter of cesse. It will you'll come up with the Board of Immigration Appeals case. It will give you 4 things that you would need to do to get a green card if you came on a fiancé visa. Just follow the instructions or come see me. Hold on. Let's go to Rona in Rockville, Maryland. Rona.
Hi, Brad.
How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for the wonderful work that you're doing.
My pleasure. What's going on?
I just have a question for my friend. She's married, but she don't live with her husband, and she's trying to do her citizenship. Will that affect her?
How long has she had a green card?
4 years now.
Yes, she needs to have a green card 5 years if she's not living with her husband.
Okay.
All right. At 90 days before the 5-year anniversary, she can file. Nobody cares whether she's living with the husband or not.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Let's go to Julie in Orlando, Florida. Julie.
There's a reflection.
Julie.
Hello?
How are you?
Hello?
Hello.
I'm good, Mr. Bernstein.
I'm good, Julie. How are you in Orlando, Florida?
I'm good.
What's good? You're on the
I got
car.
a question.
You're in the car right now.
I got a question.
What's going on?
Yes, I'm not the driver anymore.
It's okay. What's going on?
I got a question. My husband filed for me and my 2 kids.
Yes.
He's a permanent resident. He applied for citizenship.
Yes.
But I received a letter in the mail said that I got interview next month for me and my 2 kids, but my 2 kids aren't here. They're in Jamaica.
You have an interview for your I-130.
Yes, but they said I should bring my 2 kids with me, but they're not here. They're in Jamaica.
So but you didn't file an adjustment. You just filed I-130s.
Yes, only the I-130.
Okay, so just bring yourself and kids' birth certificates, and they're in Jamaica.
Okay, and there's no problem.
Well, the only problem is if you're out of status, they could always put you in deportation because your husband's not a U.S. citizen. So you always run that risk because you're showing up to immigration out of status, and you're not eligible for a green card till your husband becomes a citizen. So you always run that risk. But even if they do put you in deportation, presuming your husband's going to become a citizen very shortly, you'll still be eligible to adjust. They would just be causing you consternation and anxiety. But just, most likely they'll approve your marriage, and then you'll wait on your husband's citizenship and then adjust, most likely. But you always run that risk.
So what about the kids that they send the things to here and they're in Jamaica?
The kids are in Jamaica. They can't come. All right? My kids are in Jamaica. Their interview is not for the kids. Their interview is to determine whether or not you and your spouse are in a bona fide marriage. That's the purpose of the interview. The kids are superficial to them.
The thing is, I send in the I-130 for the kids too, but they send back an interview date for them as well.
And I've just repeated 3 times. The kids can't go for an interview if they're not in America. So you just show up and say the kids aren't in America. They're more concerned about the validity of your marriage. Don't worry about the kids.
Okay, all right.
All right, and if you have any problems, call me.
Okay, that's okay. Okay, all righty, thanks.
Thanks, hubby. Bye. All right, let's go to Simon in Lithonia, Georgia, or Lithonia? Simon or Simone?
Hello?
In Brooklyn. I don't know. Simone, where are you? Or Simon? I don't even know. I say Simon. It says Simone. I have Georgia, and this says Brooklyn. Can you clear this up for us, please?
I'm in Latonia.
Where's that?
Yeah, I was the one who called the other night about the medical issue.
What medical issue?
With the heart surgery.
I spoke to someone about heart surgery? I don't remember.
I don't know if you remember me.
All right,
okay, actually, I was just where I signed for an extension, but I get back a letter
Right.
from them saying that I missed 3 pages of the extension.
Right. Because you still need the medical care here.
Repeat for me.
You still need medical care here, so you need to get extensions. And I told you to get something called deferred enforced departure.
I'll just do it all over. So that's the reason I was calling you.
What are you calling me for?
Because I have to do
it all over.
Extension.
All right. Have you overstayed on your visitor's visa?
Repeat for me.
Have you overstayed on your visitor's visa?
Yeah.
Okay. So then if you've overstayed and then you file for an extension, they're going to deny you. I think at this point you would need to do something called deferred enforced departure, which is that you ask the government, I'm here out of status. Don't deport me. I need this vital medical care, and if I don't get it, I'm going to die. And that's what you would have to show.
Okay, so how can I go ahead and do it?
You apply directly to your local immigration office for deferred enforced departure, or you can have a consultation with me, and I'll advise you. So
okay, I would like to make the consultation with you.
Okay. Let's go to Donovan in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Donovan.
Yes.
What's up?
What's up, man?
What's up?
Okay, man, I got a question, man. I've been here since '96.
Yes.
And one time in Georgia State, man, I make me up a name one time with a birth paper, a blank birth paper, and get me a license. And I go to jail like 2003.
You went to jail because you got a fake license in Georgia.
Huh?
Why did you go to jail?
I go to jail in Florida.
Why?
Because of DUI.
For a DUI. Okay, and what is your question?
Huh?
What is your question?
Yeah, I come to the country without I come to the country without any papers, so that's why I got to make up something, man. You know, I want to get married, so I wonder what gonna be the, if how that gonna work out.
All right, so this is. Let me get this straight. You came here with no documents. You made up an identification. You were driving while intoxicated. You got arrested in a fake name, went to jail in that fake name under a DUI, and now would like to straighten all of this out by getting married. Correct?
Yeah.
All right. I don't have an answer for you right now, but you certainly have. You've admitted to more crimes to everybody in the world right now. You're admitting to more crimes. It's not a smart thing to admit to crimes on a live Facebook show with thousands of people watching. So I would suggest, Donovan, you hold on and we have a private consultation about this. An attorney privileged consultation. There is nothing privileged when a third party hears what you just admitted. So, in other words, if you're going to call up and admit to crimes, it's not a privileged conversation. And that's law with anything, whether it's immigration, anything. When you talk to an attorney and you are individually in an office with an attorney, one-on-one with that attorney, and there is nobody else listening to that conversation, everything you tell that attorney, it's like telling your priest, is privileged. As soon as a third party hears that conversation, it's not privileged. We have thousands of people hearing that conversation. Let's go to Norman in Brooklyn. Norman.
Yeah, how are you, sir?
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. All right. My question is, I filed for VAWA about like 2018, 10 September.
Yes.
And I was in an abusive relationship in Alabama, and then I moved to New York.
Right.
And I filed for a VAWA, but that time I didn't hear about your law office and something like that, so I couldn't come to you.
It's okay.
I went to another lawyer.
Okay.
And the thing is, like, I filed I-360, I-765, I-485, and I-131 together concurrently. And after 6 months, I got a work permit. But last year, in October 5th, I received the prima facie for the first time.
Okay. What's your question? So far, I understand you were married in Alabama. There was abuse. You came to New York. You filed an adjustment. You got your work permit prima facie. What's the question?
Yeah. The question is that today I received the second prima facie.
Good.
So what does it mean? Like,
it means they haven't got to your case
it's been
yet.
15 months right now.
It means they haven't looked at your case yet.
Okay.
All right, VAWAs take over 2 years now these days. They just take a very long time.
Oh, okay. And I had a student visa. I don't do the continue.
You don't need to.
Now.
You don't need to.
Okay. And I never overstay. And after I got the
it's fine. You're on a VAWA now. You don't need to go to school if you don't want to.
Oh, okay. And what my work permit should be expired next year, April 9th. So what's the best time to apply for the renew?
4 months before.
I got the combo card.
4 months before.
4 months before, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your information,
You're
sir.
welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. By the way, if you didn't get your immigration questions answered, we're going to get to social media check-in in a few minutes. Or you can follow me on Instagram. And if you follow me on Instagram and you're a part of Brad Squad and you make comments, you can drop me a DM. I'll be happy to try to answer your questions on at Real Brad Bernstein. You can also follow us on Instagram at not Spar Bernstein, at Brad Show Live. And you see the best of our content every day. Yonathan, where can we follow you quickly?
You can follow me at Yonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
All right. In the meantime, our Spar Bernstein criminal defense attorney, David Moreno, sat down to speak with me about a recent case that he won for a young client with a very bright future who was facing 1 to 3 years in jail and a permanent felony on his record. He was arrested at a music festival, Yonathan. Let's check it out. So for many of you who know, David Moreno is one of our fantastic criminal defense attorneys here at Spar Bernstein. He's a former Manhattan district attorney right here in New York City. He's also named one of the top black lawyers, top 40 under 40 from the National Black Lawyers Association. He has been named one of the top 100 trial lawyers in the United States of America. He has been also named as an Expert Network Distinguished Lawyer and has also recently just won the coveted Rising Stars and Super Lawyers. He handled all criminal cases in New York and New Jersey, as also federal cases throughout the United States of America. And David, we've talked about your Avo page in the past. I went through it again recently. It's an online site where people go to find attorneys, AVVO, and you go. And also, if you're a former client, you can always go and leave a review or a comment about your attorney. And I just found this one. It was left on March 20th. It was by an anonymous person, but he did give you 5 stars. I guess he didn't want to, or she did not want to say who they are. But let me read what it says here. It says, "Amazing lawyer. I highly recommend. Hiring Dave to represent me was the best decision I could have made. I was facing a felony and misdemeanor charge for intent to sell and possession. I was very worried and concerned because I had never been in this situation before, but Dave reassured me and worked swiftly to achieve the best possible result for me, especially since I had no previous criminal record. I was initially facing 1 to 3 years in prison, but because of Dave's hard work and diligence, I ended up serving 7 days private community service and walked away with only a disorderly conduct. I am eternally grateful for what Dave has done for me, and I feel as if I have a new lease on life to really make a positive impact on society. I highly recommend hiring Dave for your legal needs." Possession with intent to distribute. That's a big deal. And even some people may be even saying, wow, why are you so proud that you got a drug dealer off the street? And now this guy says it was his first offense. He was never arrested before, but he was facing 1 to 3 years in jail. So what happened, and what do you have to say about this character, the gentleman that you represented?
I can speak ad nauseum about this client's character, and I am elated that I got him off of the charges. And this is exactly what prosecutors do. This is what police officers do. They read the charges, and they forget about who the person is behind the charges, right? They forget about the facts, the underlying facts that led to this sort of arrest. Now, you read that, you think that we've got Pablo Escobar on our hands. No, we didn't. Not even close.
Well, one of Pablo Escobar's
one of his
comrades who he gave drugs to go sell on the street. Right.
No.
Tell us about him.
So our client in this situation, and he's a very bright guy. Obviously, he left it anonymous because that's under my advice. He was at a music festival in New York City. And what do people do at music festivals, Brad?
They party.
And how do they party?
They drink, they do drugs, that's life.
Okay.
Every teenager and every millennial has gone to, I would assume, 1 or 2 music festivals. Maybe not, but many do. Maybe not everybody, but many do, and those who don't are aware of what goes on.
Okay. So our client was at this music festival, and he wasn't at the door. He wasn't hanging out by the bathroom shadily, selling people drugs for $10 or $20 or whatever it goes for. He was partying with his friends. We're talking about a young man, a very young man. He's partying with his friends. A police officer walks up to him, an undercover cop, a female. She starts flirting with him. Says, hey, I want to hang out. I want to party with you. Do you have anything? Do you have anything for me? I want to party with you. And our client goes, he sees the girl, he thinks he's got a chance there. He's like, yeah, I've got some stuff. Do you want to party with us?
Now, is this a young black man?
This is a young black man.
Okay, now this music festival, I assume there's the whole Rainbow Coalition is there, the whole gamut, and she purposely went after this young black man.
Went directly to our client.
Right.
She went directly to our client, and she enticed him. And my client did not take $1, not 1 red cent from this undercover officer.
Just shared what he had.
He shared what he had with her. And I'll get into the law of it all in a minute. Shared what he had with her. She walks away, after hanging out with him a little while longer. And, 5 minutes, 10 minutes pass, and he's arrested. And he had a couple of pills on him, remaining pills. It was 3 pills, which he had for him and his friends. He didn't make $1. He didn't sell anything for profit, and they arrested him and charged him with several felonies, possession, and then they charged him with possession with intent for the 3 pills that he had on him. And they state that the 3 pills he had on him is possession with intent because there's an inference.
What were the pills that he had?
He had ecstasy.
Ecstasy.
He had ecstasy on him.
Right.
He's at the party. There's a presumption under the law if you have more than one of something. Or
you're selling drugs.
Correct. So also under the law, which a lot of people don't know, and I initially didn't know.
So even though no money exchanged hands, the fact that he had 3 pills on him, the law presumes you wouldn't be walking around with 3 pills because it's more than you would consume in any 24-hour period.
Correct.
So obviously you're a seller.
Correct. And also under the law, a sale means not to exchange currency. A sale means to sell or to give or to share. So I can literally give you this pen. If this pen was narcotics, you received it. We've just completed a sale under the law.
No consideration needed.
No consideration needed.
Right, and consideration means that there has to be a fair bargaining, a handshake agreement. You give me this, I give you that.
Under the law, the sale
could be a gift.
Correct. So now in this case, it's very interesting. We've got a young kid. He's got a lot of stuff going for him. It's a great job, great educational background, great family, great volunteer history. He's done a lot of work for different organizations. Just an amazing kid that was out partying, made a stupid mistake. So we've spoken about this in the past, and you said there are 3 ways to defend a criminal case.
Right.
In this case, we're highlighting more than one.
So let's talk about the 3 ways, because we talk about it all the time. You can argue the law's against you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there's a violation of law. This cop should never have frisked him and found the drugs on him. It was an illegal search, illegal stop. You can argue the facts. Wasn't me. I wasn't there. It was somebody else. Somebody else's drugs, not my drugs. It was the guy down the street's drugs. It was the guy singing up on the stage. He handed them to me. I don't know, whatever it is. Possible, you never know. Or the third thing is you argue this person doesn't deserve what he's being charged with. Let me tell you about this human being. Let me tell you about the character of this person. This person should not be characterized as a drug dealer. Let me tell you more about this person, and let me paint a brighter picture. Because right now, all you see is a stick figure. Let me take out my paintbrush and paint all the colors of this person.
Great. Now, this is the new unique case, and it's clear that you went to Dave's School of Criminal Defense, right?
Yes.
This is the unique case where I use all three to our advantage, right? The law. How is the law on our side? There's a little thing in the law called entrapment. And what this police officer did was entrapment. She solicited our client. Our client didn't solicit her, right? So we have the law on our side there.
Right. He didn't walk over to her and said, hey, I got 3 pills. You want one?
Correct.
Right.
Also, what we have on our side, look at the facts. The facts, when you read the charges, is possession and possession with intent to sell and a sale. When I tell you these facts after hearing it, you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. The facts are on our side. And third, in this case, our client has a lot going for him. This is his only contact. This kid didn't even have a traffic infraction prior to this. He's never done anything wrong in his life in terms of the criminal justice system, and he's got a lot going for him. So we're now highlighting who this client was as a person. So now I present to the prosecutor, I said, look, we can go forward with this case. We go to trial, you better be prepared to overcome the entrapment, right? Because I'm gonna have the jury hear from the judge an instruction on whether or not the jury believed that this police officer solicited the criminal conduct that the client was accused of, or whether the client initiated the criminal conduct. If the jury heard that testimony, the way it would have came out, because our client was articulate, the story was true, there were several witnesses, that case most likely would have been dismissed.
For people who didn't go to law school, how would you describe to a jury what entrapment is?
Simple. Entrapment is very, very, breaking it down in layman's terms.
Yeah.
Entrapment is an action by law enforcement that would cause you to commit a crime, right? So in this case, using this case for example, legitimately, our client would have not committed the crime, but for the police's actions.
Right.
Simple.
Right. He would never have shared these 3 other pills with anybody else.
Now, our client was guilty of possession of controlled
drugs.
substance.
Right.
Correct. And theoretically, under the law, if we're being honest and objective, every single pill he shared with his friends, that was a sale.
Right.
That was a sale. But his conduct and behavior wasn't any different than 85% of the people at this music festival.
And everybody's partying, dancing. They look like they could be drunk or eyes watery. Why did you pick this person out of everybody?
Because he fit a specific profile, right? He fit a specific profile. He was an easy target. Look, I don't want to get into the whole racial aspect of it, but as a black man, I'm very conscious of it. I'm cognizant of it. Having him as a defendant in the courthouse, it's more likely that he's going to deal with stiffer penalties. I mean, this stuff is well documented. There's documentary after documentary on it. There are a number of statistics on it. It happens here in New York City just like it happens in Jackson, Mississippi. It happens all across the country.
It happens in Los Angeles. It happens in Miami. It happens in Chicago.
It happens everywhere.
So now this kid, okay, facing 1 to 3 years in jail, a felony drug sale, ruins his career, whatever his career is. If he wanted to be a doctor, can't. If he wanted to be a lawyer, can't. If he wanted to go work at any major company, you fill out a job application. Have you ever been convicted of a felony? There's very few companies that would ever even hire him. All because he was stupid and had 3 pills for him and his friends and was flirting with a girl who turned out to be a woman who turned out to be an undercover cop. What happened with this case?
Well, I convinced the prosecutor that it wouldn't be in their best interest to go to trial. Obviously for them, they weren't going to just concede the case at that point. So we bargained because we could have pushed this thing all the way to a trial, but our client has a very busy life. It could take, up to a year, more than a year for us to get before a jury. So I highlighted who he was a little bit more. And I said, look, give this kid a chance. Let's have him pay his debt a little bit, right? He did do something wrong. He was in possession of a controlled substance. I convinced the prosecutor as an adequate sentence. Our client is very interested in public interest and community service to give him back. I said, how about we have our client, do some more community service. Let's have him contribute positively to society so he feels, some sort of punishment for his actions because he's a young kid. If he just walks clean off, then there's no lesson to be learned, right? I'm in this not just because I want to get every client off. I want to help them move forward to become better people. That's why I do what I do. So he did 7 days community service. I believe this client volunteered at a hospital working with cancer patients for 7 days. And once he completed that, he pled guilty to a violation of disorderly conduct. A disorderly conduct it can be being too loud on the street. It can be blocking the sidewalk. It can be literally getting into a shoving match with someone. It's non-criminal. It gives him no criminal record. He paid a little $120 fine, and that was it.
So when he goes on a job interview and you fill out the form and it says, have you ever been convicted of a crime? The answer is no. It was a disorderly conduct.
Correct.
And
in fact, you don't even have to say disorderly conduct. If you've ever been convicted of a crime, the answer is just no.
And then that's it.
Even the disorderly conduct, at that, only law enforcement can see that, and that itself is sealed and off your record after 2 years anyway.
So how does it make you feel? You help somebody who obviously made a very bad decision.
It makes me feel tremendously humbled. Again, this is exactly why I do this. Reading this kid's, words, these thoughtful words about what I did for him, it touched my heart because, a lot of kids aren't given second chances. A lot of kids don't have diligent representation. There are a lot of kids just like this client sitting in Rikers Island right now. So the fact that I was able to make a significant impact on his life, not only his life, but those around him, his family members, his unborn children, because this can start a vicious cycle. God forbid this client went down for a felony. And now he's out of society for a while. He can't get a job. He's now an absentee parent. Like, this starts such a cycle. Yeah. And we were able to break the cycle by giving this kid a second chance.
I'm reading again what he wrote here, and I'm just going to read part of it again because it's so important to everybody out there. I was facing 1 to 3 years in prison, but because of Dave's hard work, his diligence, I did 7 days private community service and walked away with only a disorderly conduct. I am eternally grateful for what Dave has done for me, and this is what's important, this is what you were saying. And I feel as if I have a new lease on life to really make a positive impact on society.
And I'm confident this guy will.
Dave, wonderful job, fantastic job. This is what we do here at Spar Bernstein. This is just a little tidbit of what we do here. But for everybody out there, God forbid you are ever arrested in a crime. God forbid you're ever being investigated. Maybe you're going through the process right now. Have good criminal defense attorneys representing you. Obviously, prior successful results can never guarantee a similar outcome, but I will say the difference between going to jail and not going to jail is 50% is the facts and 50% is who's your attorney. Our entire team here. Save our number. You never know when you'll need it. 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465. David Moreno. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465. Thank you very much, David. Fantastic job.
Brad. I appreciate it.
Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. All right, we've got to do something we like to call social media check-in.
All right, our first one comes from Rita Ritt saying she's a long-standing member of the Brad Squad, but been quiet for a while.
Mm-hmm. I know who she is.
Yeah, okay. So marriage-based petition, submitted form I-130 for me and my daughter, April 2018, along with work permit and travel doc for myself. Received combo card October 2018. Did interview on October 30th and was told by the interviewer that I'll receive my green card in 3 weeks. Should I look out for this card in this time frame?
Yes.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats. Josh Olade saying, I filed an I-130 and it was approved in 2018. Now my wife would soon become a citizen. Do I need to approval notice to file the I-485? They said it's been mailed. When I checked on their page, I didn't receive it.
You can file the adjustment with the receipt notice of the I-130.
Okay, hey, it's Kier saying, my friend's fiance is diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. He has been in and out of the hospital. They're planning on getting married soon. She wants to know if after they get married, if unfortunate happens based on his condition, how could she go about getting her green card? He is a citizen.
Be a widow petition.
Hamid saying, I'm in Chicago. I need to hire you to file a mandamus because I passed the naturalization since August 2018 and till now there's no oath ceremony. Is this okay? Is this right?
Yes, call us.
Okay. Jane saying, if my husband filed an I-130 in April of this year, how long before it's approved?
What did he file?
I-130 in April.
I don't know who sponsored you. If your brother sponsored you, it's going to be years.
Her husband.
Her husband should be about 12 to 15 months.
Is there a time frame for a humanitarian reinstatement process if requested by USCIS if the beneficiary passed away and left the kids behind on the approved I-130?
No, there's not.
Okay, Delroy saying, my grandmother, who's an American citizen, filed an I-130 petition for my married mother, married to my father. I was mentioned as a derivative on it. The priority date is April 2008. When I was 10, the visa became available November 2019. When I'm 21, am I still eligible to migrate with them? My name is on the invoice.
How long was the I-130 took?
The petition... Well, it says the priority date was April 2018.
If your name's on the invoice, pay the fee because that means the government's saying you're in.
Okay. Camille saying, my mother, who's a U.S. citizen, filed an I-130 for me. I'm category F3, priority date April 2008. At the time my son was 9, the visa became available 2019 of November. When he's 21, his name is on the invoice from NBC.
This is the same exact question. Pay the fee.
Okay, it's two different people. Is Israel saying, I was deported twice without seeing the judge, and one of them was voluntary. I'm getting married on May 29th, 2021. My fiance is an American citizen. She wants to help me get legal.
You need waivers if you've been deported.
Simone saying, under the F3 category for married children, can the accompany individuals get approval and the principal applicant does not get approval, vice versa?
No, the principal applicant has to get a green card for the derivative beneficiaries to get the green card.
Okay, Abdul saying, my joint sponsor only provided me a 1040 and W-2 with his citizenship. Please, is this enough to prevent another RFE?
Well, hopefully that's enough. Your tax return should do it.
Joanna is saying, my husband petitioned for my 20-year-old son and I. We had the interview on the same day, but he was absent. I went alone with my husband. Will I be denied?
Who sponsored?
The husband.
So the husband went. That's fine. What's the problem?
It says I went alone with my husband. How about if they went alone without the husband?
Yes, you'll be denied unless it's a VAWA case.
Salon saying, I had scheduled an interview, but when we got there, the officer said NBC did not send all the files. Is this normal?
Sometimes immigration screws up.
Cynthia is saying, can I use survivor's benefits that I received for my children as income with my regular salary from my job? And are you able to have 2 co-sponsors?
Yes and yes.
Christopher saying, explain the process to file taxes jointly when one spouse does not have a social security number.
The spouse without a social security number files a W-7 along with your 1040 return. You file married filing jointly. They'll issue a tax ID number. Once your spouse does get a social security number, you can update IRS.
Okay, Fearless saying, should I be worried that the 30 days have passed since submitting my I-485 and I've not received a notice of receipt from USCIS?
How long has it been?
30 days have passed.
I would wait another 30 days.
Okay, D. Forbes saying, now asking for a friend. She recently was approved for a green card. Apparently, her and her husband had a disagreement where the police was called. She didn't press any charges, but the law took matters in their own hands, and he ran. Because he ran. So he was then charged. Long story short, he's now threatening her to go to immigration, saying the marriage is a fraud. What advice can you give? My advice to her was to get a consultation. So
I agree, get a consultation.
Classic World saying, I get a document from my home country that a justice of peace signed and sealed. I'm trying to copy this document, but the seal won't show. Should I send the copy to USCIS or the original?
No, send the copy, bring the original to an interview.
Okay, Baliave is saying, is it possible to be scheduled for an interview without you and your lawyer getting a letter from USCIS website? Because yesterday I checked my case and that...
it's called lost mail.
Okay.
It's called lost mail. Yes,
All right.
Sometimes happens.
Marisa is saying, can you be denied your temporary green card if you do not file taxes with your husband or wife?
Yes.
All right. Juliet saying, can a green card holder file for a stepchild under 19? I've been married for almost 5 years. My I-130 is approved.
Yes.
My husband will file for the citizenship.
The answer is yes.
DJ China saying, I'm in the USA. I've a pending 360.
From China.
DJ China.
Yeah, from China in USA. I don't know if he's from
But it says DJ China SA, so I don't know if that's South Africa.
South Africa,
so,
right.
I have a pending 360 and 485, but I worked 10 months while my combo card expired. Just applied for renewal.
That's fine. The fact that you worked out of status doesn't prevent you from getting a VAWA adjustment approved.
Huni saying, does USCIS set appointment for medical, or will they send a list for you to choose from?
Send a list from you to choose from.
Carlos saying, can a person that's been deported about 20 years ago and was a victim of crime that happened 27 years ago, can they apply for U visa?
Possibly. It depends why they were deported.
Giovanna saying, what if you were born in Jamaica and you move to America and become a U.S. citizen, you go back home and you get in trouble and get deported from your home country?
How do you get deported from your home country if you're a citizen of that country too? But if you're a U.S. citizen, they can't take it away because you got deported from somewhere else.
All right.
That made no sense to me.
Yeah. Well.
All right. So Jessa Crispin and Nicolas Rodriguez, they met on Tinder in the summer of 2018. It was a whirlwind romance, and they were engaged and married just 2 weeks after they met. I don't know many people who do that, but 2 weeks after they met,
it happens.
It happens.
Didn't that happen to Kim Kardashian and her first husband?
Maybe. It also happened to Dennis Rodman and
or they got divorced.
And
at
Carmen
72,
Electra
right?
got married after 12 hours.
Oh gosh.
Right. Well, Nicolas is Colombian-born and was studying in the United States on a visa. Jessa is an American-born writer who wrote a New York Times op-ed about their love story titled "Marrying Him Was Political. Sponsoring his visa is for love." Let's watch and see how these people did all of this after just meeting after 2 weeks. You guys, you met each other for 2 weeks, and obviously there had to have been adjustments made, and here you are 6-7 months later. You basically held hands, jumped off the cliff, and right now, knock on wood, you guys are very happy and grounded. So it's wonderful. One of the ways to make sure it works out is you got to pass your immigration interview. We have a game here that we play on our show sometimes called the Bradified Marriage. When you go on your adjustment interview, which will be in probably another 18, 20, 24 months, whatever it is, they're going to ask you questions that only a husband and wife living together would know the answers to. And they want to determine that you married for love. You didn't marry just to give this man a green card, or he didn't pay you to get a green card. One, they ask you questions about your living arrangements. And two, they want to know that you have an economic relationship together, meaning that you jointly commingle your income, and out of that income that you earn, that is commingled, you pay the debts of your marriage, whether it's taxes, credit cards, and that's how they determine whether or not this is a real legitimate marriage. It's the whole basis of this interview. That's what you're waiting on to get your green card. Now, many times you fumble through the interview or the officer thinks there's something fishy going on, they're going to separate you into 2 different rooms. I don't know, Nicolas, if you're familiar from Colombia, but I know Jessa should be familiar with a game back from the 1970s, a game show called the Newlywed Game, where they would literally put somebody in a soundproof booth and then ask newlyweds question and see if the spouse can get the answer. In USCIS, they call this the Stokes interview. They're going to separate you into 2 different rooms, and they're going to ask Jessa about 100 questions about your life and your lifestyle, and they're going to ask you about 100 questions. And then they got to match. And then sometimes they don't match, and then they bring you in and ask for an explanation. We like to call this the Bradified Marriage game. What we're going to do is I'm going to ask you about 4 or 5 questions that it's possible, because you never know what you're going to get at that interview. Now, we're not going to separate you into 2 different rooms, but I understand you have a pad and paper in front of you somewhere. And don't show your spouse what you're writing. And that's correct, right? We're going to then ask you to lift up the answer at the same time and see how well you or not well you guys are going to do. Now, I will say the last couple that we had on that did this, we know are in a legitimate marriage, and they only got 1 out of 5 questions right. So you ready to start?
Yes.
Okay. What was the last restaurant the 2 of you went out to, the name of it, and what did you eat for dinner? That is the question.
Okay.
All right. Nicolas, you ready?
Yes.
All right. So let's put up the paper. The name of the restaurant and what did you eat for dinner is?
It was some Italian place.
Italian place. veal, and Nicolas has no idea what he ate. But you're close. Oh, he said pasta? I just thought blank. All right, I give that. I give that to you. All right, 1 for 1. I give that to you. How many locks are on the front door of your apartment door?
Okay.
You ready? The answer is 3, what? And you say 2. You guys are not living in the same apartment. What was the problem?
One doesn't work.
We have one that doesn't.
You have one that doesn't work. That's exactly what would happen, why somebody would screw up. That's a question that is 99% of the time always asked. And I've seen people screw up also because there's sometimes a lock on the actual doorknob, and they don't count that sometimes as well. Before you go for your interview, and this is for everybody, not only you, but for everybody, you have to walk around your house and be aware of everything in that house. How many locks, colors of furniture, where the air conditioner comes from, where you turn on the heat. All of those questions on your daily, everyday life of living in the house, you're going to be asked specific questions about. Okay. 1 for 2. You ready? For question number 3. What time do each of you generally wake up for work in the morning? What time do you wake up, and what time does Nicolas wake up? So you're going to ask both times. All right, you ready? All right, what do we got? What time do you wake up? All right, 6:30 is him, 7 o'clock is me, and he has the same thing. Congratulations, right? He had the same thing. Congratulations. All right, so that's 2 out of 3. Okay. I would say that I'm going to give you 2 more questions. And if you pass these 2 questions, you got 4 out of 5 right. And the one you got wrong was kind of iffy. I would ratify the marriage and say you'll do fine. All right, let's see. Okay. All right, next question. What is the name of the toothpaste that you use in your bathroom currently? What is the name of the toothpaste that you use in your bathroom currently? And the answer is Colgate, him Colgate, me Tom's. Okay, all right, you got it. That's good, but at least you got Colgate. All right. What? You didn't know Tom's, Nicolas? No. All right, last question, but we'll give that one to you as well. We'll give that one to you as well. The last question. Tell me the names of your in-laws. What are the names of your in-laws? The first name of Nicolas's mom and dad, Jessa, you have to say that. And Nicolas, all right, and obviously, Nicolas, you also have to say the names of what your parents are so we can compare.
Okay.
Are you ready? The 4 names of the in-laws are, let's see, Kathy, Jim, Jamie, Emma, Jack, Kathy. All right, so you missed one somewhere. You got 3 out of 4. You didn't know one of them?
I didn't know. I don't remember his father's name.
His father's name. You guys knew enough. You would have passed. Thank you for playing. So I give you a pass, but there are little things like that screw you up, and it really depends on the immigration office. When I was a young lawyer, I went on a Stokes interview, and it must have been my first or second interview, and they asked the couple, what did you do for dinner last night? And the guy said he went to McDonald's, and the other woman said, we had hamburgers. And the officer said, no, you got that question wrong. I'm like, what, are you out of your mind? They ate hamburgers at McDonald's, and I went crazy. Okay? So sometimes you get officers who are literally want to see the same exact words because they got blinders on. So you really have to really think about it ahead of time before you go to your interview. You got plenty of time, but you did really well. I really appreciate you guys coming on. Thank you. And we look forward to hearing more about your relationship. It's really amazing. You guys met on Tinder in 2 weeks. You got engaged. A month later, You are already married and filing papers for your green card. Your entire lives have changed. It sounds like they've changed for the better. So congratulations to you both. Jessa, you wrote a wonderful article about your experience to date in the New York Times, and I read it and I thought it was really wonderful. So congratulations to you as well.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming on. All right, so we're going to put 1 minute and 10 seconds on the clock in something we like to call speed round, where I'm going to answer 10 questions in 70 seconds. Yonathan, that means it's 7 seconds a question.
Oh, man.
1 minute and 10 seconds. Yonathan is doing this on no sleep.
Yes.
I am going to do it in the dark.
No, it's still light.
No,
it's
we still,
okay.
Usually we're in the dark
Right.
when we do it here. Nope, we have the lights on today.
All right.
All right, you ready?
So the pressure always comes on when I'm by myself, though.
Yes.
Jean says, if my husband filed an I-130 in April this year, how long before it's approved?
The clock hasn't started.
Jean says,
go.
filed
Start
I-130 in April, how long until it's approved?
At least 12, 15 months.
Truth says it's a good thing to apply for advanced parole, and how long does it take?
Yes, it's a good thing. It takes about 4 to 6 months.
Stacy says, what are some of the reasons adjustment through marriage would be denied?
They don't believe it's a real marriage.
Bran said, how long does it take for you to get a work permit through VAWA?
About 4 to 6 months.
Maurice says, can you still get your EAD if your case is scheduled for December?
Yes.
Nathan said, I got my 601 hardship waiver approved finally. Will they send me a work permit now?
If you filed an adjustment application, yes.
McLeod saying, can a green card holder file for his wife who overstayed her visa?
Yes, but you would have to do a provisional waiver, go home and come back unless you become a U.S. citizen.
Halani says, I've responded to RFEs, been a month, I-360 petition.
Wait 4 months before you start freaking out.
Shelly says, January 2019, got married to a U.S. citizen, then filed the kids in Trinidad, July 2019. Only received receipts. How long for the I-130 to be approved?
12 to 15 months.
Giovanna said, can they stop a naturalized U.S. citizen from coming back to
No,
America?
no,
Woo!
no,
We
no,
got it.
no!
We got it. Oh, just you.
You blew me up, and Yonathan.
I'm okay.
And Yonathan seems to be okay.
I'm good. My face is still good. Got the eyebrows on still.
There was one question that didn't make any sense to me.
I felt that.
I made a face. I forgot which one it was. What was it? Go through the questions quickly. It was like number 5 or 6 or something.
1, 2, 3. Is it, no, can you
What?
still get your EAD if your case is scheduled in December?
Oh, the 601A.
601. I got my 601
If you got your
hardship waiver
If you got your
approved.
601 hardship waiver approved and you're adjusting, you should get your green card. But if they're still not going to give it to you, then yeah, you could renew your work permit, but you should be getting a green card. That's what didn't make sense to me. All right, comments of the day. Do we have any comments of the day? We ready for comments of the day?
Are we ready?
Drum roll, please, for first comment of the day.
Are we going to get a drum roll?
Drum roll, please.
All right, our first comment of the day comes from Layla Smith saying, today I don't have any questions, just like to watch you.
All right, I like that.
That's good.
Yeah, I like that.
We like that.
Yeah.
All right, our second comment of the day comes from YouTube, from Jackie Harris saying, pound or hashtag Brad compliments. Make it a segment. LOL.
I like that. Yes. just compliment Brad.
Just a whole segment of compliments.
And now after social media check-in, Brad gets complimented.
I'm with it.
Yes.
All right, our third one comes from K Stages Fun saying, this is the show where we get all of the latest and breaking news, which is very true.
It is very true.
I especially get.
That's right.
the
Yonathan
latest.
doesn't follow the news. He learns it all from here.
Nope, absolutely.
Yeah.
And our fourth one comes from Abigail Taylor Watson saying 7% battery life now and still can't believe my Brad Bernstein squad. Brad, you got me hooked, line, and sinker.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, and our last comment of the day comes from Dewberry saying, don't forget to butter the bread, a.k.a. Brad.
That's right. You butter the bread, right?
Butter the bread.
All right, everybody. We are going to be off Thursday and Friday, but we're going to be back Monday live. Have a nice 4-day week. Peace out. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it, I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein Law Firm, located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.